As Apple moves deeper into the second half of this decade, the company seems to be preparing one of the most ambitious transitions ever witnessed in the Mac ecosystem, a shift that centers around its next major Apple silicon architecture, the M5 series. Unlike previous generations where releases arrived in closer intervals, the strategy around the M5 lineup appears far more deliberate, carefully staged, and optimized around manufacturing and product identity. Multiple industry reports now suggest that Apple is planning a long, wave-based rollout across the entire Mac family throughout 2026, intentionally spacing out each category to maintain consistent buzz and ensure supply chain stability. Early in the year, Apple is expected to introduce the lighter, consumer-oriented devices first, such as the MacBook Air equipped with a standard M5 chip and the MacBook Pro models featuring the more advanced M5 Pro and M5 Max processors. These laptops will serve as the introductory showcase for Apple's new silicon generation, highlighting major changes in AI performance, power efficiency, multimedia rendering, thermal balance, and battery optimization. The more powerful desktop hardware, particularly the redesigned M5 Mac Mini and the next-generation M5 Mac Studio, will reportedly arrive several months later, around mid-2026. This timing aligns with Apple's recent shift toward carefully controlling the narrative around professional-grade Macs, ensuring each tier of hardware receives its own spotlight instead of being overshadowed by higher-end models. The incoming Mac Mini is rumored to be one of the most substantial upgrades the compact desktop has ever received. It is expected to come in two clear tiers: a standard M5 variant aimed at everyday users, home offices, students, and light creative workloads, and an M5 Pro version that delivers higher core performance, faster graphics acceleration, stronger neural engine capabilities, and wider unified memory support, effectively transforming the Mini into a small but powerful workstation capable of handling demanding creative applications. Meanwhile, the new Mac Studio is shaping up to become one of Apple's biggest highlights for professional users in 2026. With reports pointing toward M5 Max and M5 Ultra configurations, the Studio could become an absolute powerhouse for developers and content creators who need extreme performance. The M5 Ultra chip, in particular, is expected to represent a massive step forward in Apple's multi-chip architecture. Using an improved Ultra Fusion design, the M5 Ultra could merge two Max chips with greater efficiency, offering significantly higher GPU cores, faster CPU scheduling, expanded neural engine acceleration for machine learning, and the ability to handle extremely large memory pools with lower latency. Early expectations suggest enormous gains in areas like 8K color grading, deep learning model training, VFX rendering, real-time simulation, and multitasking under high loads. What makes this release cycle even more intriguing is the unusual gap between the early laptop launches and the later desktop introductions. On the surface, it may seem odd, especially because the Mac Mini recently went through a major refresh, and because the M5 Pro chip will already have debuted inside the MacBook Pro earlier in the year. However, several industry analysts have proposed a more complex explanation. The M5 Ultra chip is likely the main cause of this delay. Ultra chips require far more rigorous testing since they rely on a multi-die system that merges two large pieces of silicon into a singular powerhouse. If Apple's engineering teams need extra time to validate stability, heat output, memory bandwidth consistency, or GPU synchronization, the entire Mac Studio release would naturally be pushed back, and Apple might choose to align the Mac Mini launch with it for marketing consistency. Another perspective suggests that Apple may be shifting toward a more spaced-out annual calendar, avoiding the clustered release problem that used to happen when several Macs were launched within months of each other. By distributing Mac releases across the entire year, laptops early, desktops mid-year, and possibly displays in between, Apple maintains a constant stream of attention, YouTube coverage, media headlines, and consumer interest. This strategy also helps Apple optimize production cycles, especially now that the company increasingly relies on more advanced chip processes, complex die stacking, and enhanced thermal engineering. Adding another layer of complexity to the 2026 lineup is Apple's ongoing development of new external displays. Several leaks claim that Apple is preparing updated versions of both the high-end Pro Display XDR and a more affordable Studio Display successor. Surprisingly, however, these displays may not launch at the same time as the M5 Mac Mini and M5 Mac Studio. While users often expect displays to arrive with desktops, Apple's internal scheduling seems to suggest that monitors can stand alone as separate upgrades since they cater to a niche professional market that refreshes hardware on longer timelines. In contrast, desktop Macs rely heavily on new chip introductions, meaning their timing is locked more tightly to silicon readiness than accessory readiness. Despite these unusual patterns, one thing is becoming abundantly clear. Apple intends for the complete M5 generation, from the MacBook Air to the Mac Studio, to be available before the end of 2026. This next-generation architecture is expected to deliver significant advancements in CPU throughput, GPU rendering power, AI-driven workflows, and high-bandwidth unified memory performance. With increasing emphasis on local machine learning, real-time processing, and hybrid AI tasks, the M5 platform may play a defining role in pushing macOS into a new era of intelligent computing. For users in professional fields, especially digital creators, developers, animators, 3D designers, audio engineers, and filmmakers, the Mac Studio powered by the M5 Ultra could become the most transformative desktop upgrade available. Its expected ability to manage enormous workloads without needing a Mac Pro tower, combined with Apple's focus on efficiency, low noise levels, and software integration, may redefine what desktop power means in the Apple Silicon era. At the same time, the Mac Mini's jump to M5 and M5 Pro configurations will give everyday users access to workstation-level performance in a tiny, affordable chassis, making it more appealing than ever. In short, the road to the M5 generation marks a major milestone for Apple, representing not just a typical refresh, but a long-term strategic shift in how the company delivers performance, AI intelligence, and desktop-class capability. The rumored mid-2026 launch for the Mac Mini and Mac Studio signals the beginning of a new cycle, one designed to elevate creative productivity, expand AI integration, and push the entire Mac ecosystem into its most powerful and efficient era yet.